Most people don't know the history of Calypso in this country. They feel it started in 18 with the crowning of Lord Smokey. They never checked it seriously to know it was here since the 40s. First introduced to Canada by a Trini named Lord Caressa. So class in session, please pay attention. Listen to this teacher, Calypso history in Canada. Yes, sir. Lord Caressa had his own show, 1946, you should know, up in Montreal on the radio, turned Canadians on to Calypso. Lord Melody came to reside, but the coldness near Killy backside. He had to run back to Trinbago in 57, you should know. So class in session, please pay attention and listen to this teacher, Calypso history in Canada. Then in the 60s was Lord Lance, an English chap who took a chance, doing he thing with Calypso on a popular TV show. Lord Bryna was in the plan. We had Bill Trotman, funny man, and we can't forget Dave Martin, pushing Calypso with the trade winds. So class in session, please pay attention and listen to this teacher, Calypso history in Canada. Lots of bags that passed through. Nightclubs and bands were pushing too. Eddie Edgehill and Charlie Roach, two of the names I have to broach. First Calypso contest, you should know. Maple Leaf Gardens held the show. We crowned the first king of Calypso in 69, David Castro. So class in session, please pay attention. Listen to this teacher, Calypso history in Canada. Ba 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 da da, ba 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 da do, ba 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 day. Calypso history in Canada. Ba 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 da bo, ba 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 do.
Thanks to the late Dick Lochan, the Juice Man, and Calypso in Canada. We would like to say welcome to everyone who's joining us. You know, we've had a year of COVID and we've got isolation and stay-at-home orders. But one thing COVID has done, it has allowed us to get together virtually. So, welcome from wherever you are, across the province, across the city, across the country, and across the world, wherever you're looking from. We're going to have a special evening today. This is the
You can do it. I can feel off.
anniversary of OCPA, the Organization of Calypso Performing Artists. And this is the kickoff event for celebrating this year. We want to pay special tribute today to a favorite daughter of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Rita Cox is a Canadian icon, much loved, respected, and admired in the Caribbean community and the community at large. Originally from Trinidad and Tobago, she joined the Toronto Public Library as a children's librarian in 1960, becoming the head of the Parkdale branch in 1974, where she remained until her retirement in 1995. During her tenure, Dr. Cox launched literary programs and other initiatives which promoted multiculturalism and literacy throughout the Toronto region. Her work has touched the lives of our entire community, particularly children and new arrivals to the country. In 1973, she pioneered the Black Heritage and West Indian Resource Collection, which in 1998 was renamed the Black and Caribbean Heritage Collection. It is one of the most comprehensive collections of its kind in Canada, featuring over 16,000 books, DVDs, CDs, newspapers, and magazines for all ages, and continues to be a source of pride in our community. Dr. Cox is a renowned storyteller who has enchanted and entertained audiences across Canada, the US, and several other countries, including, of course, the Caribbean. She has maintained the library's storytelling legacy by training a whole new generation of storytellers, many of whom are current library staff. She's a recipient of many prestigious awards, including the 1996 Canadian Library Association Public Service Award and the Black Achievement Award. Dr. Cox was appointed a member of the Order of Canada in 1997 for her outstanding work. She's also the recipient of honorary degrees from York University and Wilfrid Laurier University. This event, the first of OCPA's 40th anniversary celebration, is a tribute to the beloved, respected, and much loved member of our Caribbean community, Dr. Rita Cox. And among her many friends is another great icon in our community, a good friend of Dr. Cox, originally from Grenada.
On the
She was a teacher in
Chris
Etobicoke,
that send up.
where she rose to the rank of school principal before embarking on a political career, becoming the first Black female MP in our Canadian government. She is a dedicated supporter of Caribbean culture and calypso music. Please welcome Dr. Jean Augustine to bring greetings and pay homage to Dr. Rita Cox.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. And my congratulations to OCPA and the fact that you are celebrating an anniversary that is so important. Any organization that can begin and see itself survive over many, many years or decades need to be complimented. Not only the membership, but also the organizers. So I'm very happy to see you, Harold, after this past year that we've had, and to see so many others who continue to do the work, although virtually. So I'm pleased and happy and actually exhilarated by this homage that you're paying to a woman who is most deserving, whom I can call friend, and whose history has moved along over these many, many years in the community. Someone who's worked and is working in many cases behind the scenes, and in many cases supportive of all community efforts. You've read her bio, and you've talked about the contributions, the awards, the recognition. I can push further and talk about the difficulties of getting into an organization, into an institution, into a setting like Toronto Public Library, and bringing to the fore discussions, ideas, work, books, community, and getting all of that involved in community effort, and getting the organization, and getting the institution, and getting the public library to recognize the importance of community involvement, community engagement, and have community feel welcome in her sphere of endeavor. Many of us would remember that at one point in time, there were very, very few places in the community to hold an event, or for young people to gather, or for the artist to find some ways to exchange. And it was always, the answer was always, why don't you go and ask Miss Cox now? And she was always welcoming. And oftentimes, I was concerned that she was holding the library open beyond, the doors open beyond the prescribed time, that the noise level of performances there were again, what were the community expectations, and who were the people in the community, and what did they think? She's left a legacy at Parkdale Public Library and has made her mark on the Parkdale community, finding funds to get the necessary resources, the books, the collection, making Parkdale Library and the Rita Cox collection a place that everyone gravitated to. The hierarchy at the Toronto Public Library quickly recognized that they had, as the Jamaicans would say, a talawa in their midst. And so she had support to ensure, not without the struggle, of course, those of us who were here in those early days recognize that to move institutions along, to move programs, to bring in ideas that were fresh, to bring artists from around the Black world, to have young people coming to the library when it was a place where you were supposed to be quiet, to stand up against the various pushbacks. We have to, that was commendable, that is commendable. And we have to make sure that this recognition not only says that we watched her over these many years, we saw the work that was done, but she's left a legacy of books by Caribbean and Black writers. She's left a legacy in the public library that it will never be the same again. And it addresses now all of those issues that at the point in time when she was pushing forward, it was risk-taking. Now it's part of the institutional way of operating. She left us a history of storytelling. And the Storytellers Group, which has been going for about 40 years or more, she's been part of that, and she's been part of the push to bring these stories forward. She's used her skills in various settings, whether it's in schools with young children, or in huge academic settings, or in international settings. She was there representing herself, not only as a Black woman, as a Caribbean woman, but as a Canadian woman, a Canadian professional librarian. She's given the term librarian the heft that it is, that it's not just someone who look at books or find the books for you or put you on a list to receive your book, but she went beyond what was supposed to be at the time the role of a librarian. And she made her library a community library. She developed books and collections and artists, and to move from her librarian role into a real community development person. She was out there with us. She was there for up, and you know the fact that she was the one who opened the door. She was the one who helped to sell the tickets. She was the one who helped with the programming. She was the one who boosted the individual artist, and she was the one who was Miss Calypso in Toronto. So to do this honor for her today, to put forward the emphasis that you are on the recognition that she must have, I commend you, I greet you, I thank you, Rita. I worked on so many things with you. I remember the Kumbaya festival when we brought storytellers from all over the world, the US in particular, and what a great opportunity and occasion that was, because two political and other power brokers, the issue of going to a festival with music, storytelling, and ensuring that the community is supported. We got funding to do the Kumbaya, and the stories were written, and folks still talk about that opportunity. There are many who were around the circle and who were part of the friendship and a network that Rita put together. And at this point in time, many of them, we can say rest in peace. So she worked individually as a professional. She worked with community in a team environment. She worked as a supporter of Calypso and Calypsonians. She boosted and she made sure that resources were provided. She did everything as a real community development officer, all the time being a real professional in everything that she did. And all those who worked with her, all of us who worked with her, all of us who were team on community endeavors, got to respect not only her skill, her talent, her professionalism, but the fact that that community was always at the base of whatever she did. So I congratulate you for this citation to her. Rita, again, my dear, it is so good to see you not only recognized by universities and recognized by places with degrees and the Order of Canada and all of this, but the community now is sitting up, standing up, and recognizing the years and the time that you've given to UPA. So thank you. Have a really good day.
Sorry, Harold, we just need you to unmute yourself there. Harold, you just need to unmute yourself. There you go.
That for me? Okay, here we go. Thank you, Dr. Augustine. Nice to see you again. It's been about 20 or 25 years since I last saw you. I always remember you and Rita together like sisters at so many of these events. And it's great to see you, see that you're doing well. And, you know, great friendships bring great memories, great recollections. Nice to have you here today. This is the start of the 40th anniversary celebrations of OCPA. And if you've just joined us, we are celebrating and paying tribute to one of our own, Dr. Rita Cox. Now, we've got a whole long list of people here to bring greetings and sing songs and do different things to honor you, Rita. And somebody you know very well, Eulith Tara Woods, also known affectionately as Makome Fifi. Now, I don't know if you might have been responsible for giving her that name, but I remember a discussion about the spelling of Makome and Makome many, many years ago. Well, Fifi hails from our sister island of Tobago, and she's an outstanding member of OCPA, a six-time Calypso Monarch winner here in Toronto. Fifi, as we affectionately refer to her, is also a member of La Petite Musicale, and she believes that the best gift she could leave her children is a legacy of her Trinbagonian culture. Fifi, welcome, and let's hear from you.
Well, thank you very much, Harold. It's such a wonderful privilege to see you after all these years. Wonderful. COVID is doing wonders for us, we must admit. But this evening, it is a pleasure to spend this time paying tribute to Dr. Cox. When Panman Pat called me about this, he says, you must get something funny to say about Rita. I said, funny? He said, yes, try and remember something funny, because we all know her bio. Dr. Jean Augustine just repeated a lot of her bio. So, try and get something funny. I said, there's nothing funny about Rita Cox, right? Even though if you sit to have a conversation with her, it can be very funny. But what can I tell the people that is very funny about Dr. Cox? First of all, I have to let her know that I do appreciate all the time and energy she spent helping me craft and hone my skills as a Calypsonian. A lot of you may not know that when I go out on the stage at the beginning of the Calypso tent, Dr. Cox is one of those persons who I look to for guidance as to how I should treat my performance and the Calypso itself. She's the one who would tell me, you have to be politically correct. She's the one who will direct me as to how to allow my audience to enjoy the performance. A lot of you all may not know, she is the one of the persons who were a team of my dressing, my clothes, the way I dress on stage. Dr. Cox was behind that team as well. And I do appreciate all her efforts. And I know she wished such great things for Calypsonians. Beside all the things she done with the library and her whole career, a lot of you know that she has this personal touch with all Calypsonians. I don't think there's a Calypsonian who she may not have liked. Maybe Jason. But all Calypsonians have this love for her, and it's because of how she herself loved what we did and help us along in all ways possible. So much so, here comes the funny part. Jason, here comes the funny part. A couple times, Dr. Cox bought the tickets for us to go to England. Right? We go to England, have a good time, we come back. Dr. Cox forget to hand in the receipt and was never repaid. And she would laugh about that. I'm telling you all this story because she think it was funny. The fact that she would pay for the tickets and never remember she paid for it, never remember to hand in, and never got repaid. That is how passionate she was about affording Calypsonians the opportunity to spread their wings and to go places so that OCPA would be so visible, right? The whole world knew about OCPA at that time. Dr. Cox, Calypsonians love you. Calypsonians paying tribute to you today. And forever, you would be Auntie Rita to all of us. Thank you very much. On this Sunday afternoon, Jason, I hope you have a drink in your hand to say cheers to Dr. Cox.
And this evening, I want to pay tribute to Dr. Cox because it's never too late to let others know how much you care about them. My tribute to Dr. Cox.
Dr. Rita, you are a leader and an encouragement for us all. You have brought Canada a daughter. In your journeys you have walked on. You have inspired all who desire to follow your intelligence. In your footsteps there are great depths. All you've conquered with great patience. You have made me proud here in Trinbago. As a woman my hopes heighten. All the kids today and tomorrow will look up to you and listen. You're richer than all Fort Knox. They're like diamonds in a box. Much more cunning than a fox, I say. Hail to Rita Cox. To me, hail, hail, hail. Hail to Rita Cox. Hail, hail, hail. Hail to Rita Cox. You never free slaves like Harriet Tubman, but help united communities. Walked your way to be head librarian and still telling children stories. Get an award from your home TNT for your contributions to society. The bridges you crossed, I sure wasn't easy, but you never complained to nobody. You have made me proud here in Mexico. As a woman, my hopes heighten. All the kids today and tomorrow will look up to you and listen. You're richer than all Fort Knox. They're like diamonds in a box. Much more cunning than a fox, I say. Hail to Rita Cox. I tell you, hail, hail, hail. Hail to Rita Cox. Hail, hail, hail. Hail to Rita Cox. You are the pinnacle of womanhood. To Calypsonians, you are the sweetheart. All your support and advice is good. Recognized by various ethnic backgrounds. Travel around the world with your expertise. Rita, you have strengthened my hopes and wisdom. Wear my crown there for love and peace. You have made me proud here in Trinbago. As a woman, my hope heighten. All the kids today and tomorrow will look up to you and listen. You're richer than all Fort Knox. Red like diamonds in a box. Much more cunning than a fox, I say. Hail to Rita Cox. Hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. Sing with me. Hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox.
many doctorates, USA, awards for Afro-Canadian achievements. The list goes on and on, I can't match. But this makes it in please and content when you were made citizenship. You have made me proud here in Bego. As a woman, my hope tighten. All the kids today and tomorrow will look up to you and listen. You're written an old Fort Knox, red like diamonds in a box. Much more cunning than a fox, I say. Hail Rita Cox. Believe me, hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. Sing with me, hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. Believe me, hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. I believe me, hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. I tell you, hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. Believe me, hail, hail, hail. Hail, 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 hail Rita Cox. Believe me, hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. Sing with me, hail. Rita Cox. Hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. Hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hail Rita Cox. Thank you. Hail, hail, hail. Hail Rita Cox.
What a great tribute there. Thank you, Fifi. Hail to Rita Cox. And I believe that song was written by good old Jason. I recognize that music. And you know, what you said about Rita is so true. I know many times she's been at events, she's taken a taxi to come to the event, she's got to get a ride back home or take a taxi back home, but she was always present. And one of the things I know many Calypsonians do when they're on stage, they look to see the expression on Rita's face. They want to know if she's accepting of what they're singing or if she's not so happy about it. So, true. Thank you, Fifi. If you're just tuning in to us, this is a celebration and tribute to Dr. Rita Cox, and it is the first event of celebration of the 40th anniversary of OCPA, the Organization of Calypso Performing Artists here in Canada. Wherever you're tuning in from, say thanks to COVID-19 for this virtual performance. It's not like a live performance where you can feel the effect of the audience and interact with them. But you know what? We can still have a great time. Now,
the honoring Rita Cox.
our next presenter is Lennox Borrell. Lennox is a retired teacher, an alumnus of St. Mary's College in Port of Spain, Trinidad, and he has been an OCPA member for 30 or more years. He has been the chief judge in our Calypso Monarch competitions over the years. Way back in 1960, as a new arrival to Canada and as a student at U of T, University of Toronto, he was a founding member of the steel band named Panics. They no longer exist, of course, but that was the first steel band at University of Toronto. Lennox, welcome to the show. Your turn to say something nice about Dr. Rita Cox. Do we have Lennox?
Unmute.
You have to unmute, Lennox.
Okay. Okay.
Ron Lennox.
Okay, right. Many years ago, someone in paying tribute to Nelson Mandela said, "Tonight, I salute not the sun, Tonight, I salute not the stars. Tonight, I laud a hero. Tonight, I extol a legend. I borrow these words to pay tribute to Dr. Rita Cox, who has been a hero and a legend to the Caribbean community here in Toronto. I have known Rita most of my life. If I were to talk about Rita in a comprehensive way, you probably will not be going home for a while. And if I were to write about her, it would probably fill several volumes. Therefore, I will limit my remarks about her to her involvement in Calypso here in Toronto. I bring greetings and salutations to her from the Calypso Association here in Toronto. Rita has been the driving force behind OCPA for many years. Her exemplary leadership, her positive and efficient administrative capabilities, her ability to build community relationships helped to move Calypso forward here in Toronto. Rita has always been a true proponent of Caribbean culture.
Yeah, they say don't leave things visible for them to see.
Every year, as the organization of OCPA improved, we have to credit Rita for this improvement. The Calypso tents, the Calypso Monarch competitions, the Harborfront shows have all been the result of Rita's organizational abilities and support. Many of the local Calypsonians adore her. Rita is the quintessential Calypso aficionado. I have been to Calypso shows here in Toronto. Sorry, I've never been to a Calypso show here in Toronto or in Trinidad at Carnival time where I did not see Rita. I am indeed honored and privileged today to pay this tribute to Dr. Rita Cox on behalf of OCPA. I would like to express our gratitude for all her support and contributions over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Lennox. Nice to hear from you. You know, I met Rita for the first time way back in 1995. It was the first time that I had sung at a Calypso competition. And I sang a song called the Caribana Jam. And at the end of the competition, I remember Rita coming to me and saying, "Boy, they didn't treat you so good, you know. You should have made the cut." Because because I know Rita likes lyrics, she likes good music, she likes a story. And I remember another time down at the Union Hall on Cecil Street, I sang a song about legendary superstition. And looking at Rita, I could see her concentrating on the lyrics. And at the end, she came and told me, what a good storyline. So thank you, Rita. That was encouraging. Now, a lot of us who've just tuned in, if you tuned in a little bit late, this is OCPA, the Organization of Calypso Performing Artists, in its first celebrating event of this year, celebrating its 40th anniversary. And courtesy of COVID-19, it's virtual. So welcome from wherever you are tuning in. Now, many of you in the Calypso world know a guy named Joel Davis. You probably don't know his name, but if I tell you he's the connector, you know exactly who he is. Well, somebody close to him, his sister is Joanne Davis, and she is known as Princess Trinidad. Now, she has been a gospel singer for about the last 6 years, but today she's going to do something a little bit different. She's got her version of a popular reggae song, She's Royal. Princess Trinidad.
Greetings, greetings, everyone. Are you all hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Greetings, Dr. Rita Cox. You know, I have always admire you, classy. They're always royal, very, very calm. You know, I always admire the way you have yourself and always give me very good words, and which you inspired me a lot, even like with my singing, a lot. That's why I take my time and write my words and tell stories. So it's an honor for me to, when Panman Pat called me, he told me he want me to sing She's Royal. And I did not hesitate. I said yes immediately. So I put my spin to it, and I dedicate this song to you, Dr. Rita Cox. This song is dedicated to the honorable Dr. Rita Cox. What a natural beauty. I never been someone shy until I've seen your eyes, so I have to try. Oh yes, let me get my words right and approach you the way a student's supposed to. I know I have to try. I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone. She's royal, yes, so royal. And we need you in all night. I never knew anyone. You're one of a kind, yes. The way you move to your own beat, you have the qualities of a queen. So supreme, oh, 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 what a natural beauty. You are born to be a beauty. You're a queen.
Princess Trinidad, sorry, unmute. There you go.
And we need you in all night. I never knew anyone. You are one of a kind, genuine and refined. You are the queen. You are the queen. You are the queen. Nubian queen. Dr. Rita Cox. Queen Royal, visionary queen, supreme queen, respectable queen, audience queen, honorable Dr. Rita Cox. You're royal, yes, so royal, and we need you in our life. I never knew anyone. You are one of a kind, genuine and refined. You're queen. No real queen. You're no real queen. You're queen. No real queen. Specially dedicated to the honorable Dr. Rita. You're royal, yes, so royal, and we need you in our life. I never anyone. You are one of a kind, so genuine and refined. Thank you, Dr. Rita. From Princess Rita.
Thank you, Princess Trinidad, Joanne Davis. That was great. And indeed, she is royal to us. She is a queen in our community. She's a legend in our community. She's motherly and grandmotherly to lots of us. She's a legend. She's a teacher, an inspiration, a motivator. Thank you. If you're just tuning in, this is a celebration and tribute to Dr. Rita Cox. This is OCPA's celebration of its 40th anniversary. And I know Rita has been around from the beginning, and she has been one of the people who has lent not only advice, but many times she's had to dip into her pocket to help out. And the association continues to live on because of volunteers, donations, and grants. And if you're not a member, you can contact Pat McNeely. And Panman Pat is now the president. And thank you, Pat, for doing this because, you know, we need to honor the people in our community while they are still around. Many of us ain't going to be around 10 or 15 years from now. So thank you for doing this and hope that as you celebrate OCPA's 40th anniversary, we will continue to do this. Now, our next presenter is somebody who just about everybody knows. And every time I think of him, I get a laugh. He's affectionately known as Mr. Tim Tim, and he hails originally from Grenada, the Isle of Spice. And of course, spice is what he adds to his repertoire of comedy, stories to which we can all relate. Whenever I hear his name, I'm reminded of my late mother, because she absolutely loved the stories of Dr. Aa and Tanti Merle. And he's an author with numerous CDs, DVDs, videos, and albums to his credit. He continues to regale us with his wit and comedy. Please welcome Dr. Paul Keynes Douglas.
All right, hearing me, everybody? Well, I hope so. Hello there, everybody. Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm social distancing my voice. I'm going to talk very slowly so I can put space between the words, right? First of all, let me say how happy I am to be here as a part of this 40th anniversary celebration. And I must thank all of you and OCPA for inviting me to share with you. You know, a good story always has to have a good beginning. So I would like to begin by saying a special and hearty congratulations to my dear friend, Dr. Rita Cox, on a much-deserved award and recognition by the Organization of Calypso Performing Artists. You know, I'm happy, so happy that it's happening now, because this has been Carnival Week in Trinidad. You know that Carnival Week in Trinidad. And last year, this time so, like we have been doing for the past how many years, I would have been lying with Rita, Carl, and Daphne, and a set of people from Toronto, right on Aripita Avenue, Woodbrook, eating, drinking, watching mass pass, and having a good time. So I'm so glad we're doing it right now. You know, of course, COVID-19 canceled Carnival this year, but you can't cancel the spirit of Carnival. And Calypso is a big part of that spirit. So I think it is very appropriate that Rita is receiving this recognition at this time. So what can I say about Dr. Rita Cox? Rita, to most of us. Well, there is so much I can say, a lot of which I'm sure many of you know already, if you already know Rita. But I and Rita go back way back, way back before back was back. I and Rita go back to that back, right? Far back. To me, Rita has always been more than, just a friend. To me, she has always been more like family. In the early days when I first came to Toronto, as a young writer and performer, as a part of the literary productions, the show, storytelling, and kumbaya, those kind of things, I always stayed at Rita. Rita was my home in Toronto. Not even my own family, I stayed with Rita, Rita took on the role of mother and advisor. And before I left the house, she would say, that ain't how you bring out. You better put on another sweater, you know. And don't forget something for your throat. Always cover your throat, boy. You eat yet? You eat yet? Always remember the food, eh? And always cover your throat, you know. But Rita's biggest blessing to us all was her wealth and experience and guidance when it came to information and advice. Being one of Canada's leading librarians, she is well placed to do so, and she never hesitated to project West Indian literature wherever and whenever she could, you know. And if you wanted to find out anything in West Indian literature, novels, authors, research, storytelling, who did what, who did when, who did where, people will tell you, call Rita Cox, Parkdale Library. And if you say, well, who is that? When that is, they say, well, you're stupid or what, you just land here, where you come from? You don't read a box. You know? So, Rita is that kind of person, So when I think of Rita, I think of someone who could make things happen, you could call middle of the night, hey, Rita, I'm in the airport. And she would say, well, take a taxi, I'll wait up for you. Rita, she's waiting up for me and I taking taxi. I don't know where the hell I'm going, but I'm still going. I hope I'm safe in the taxi. But you say, you're going to be all right, you're going to be all right. And I was always all right. And Rita didn't just give advice and information, She got involved, yeah? And, she wasn't called a real saltfish in everything we did that, right? She would give you advice on everything. So it's no surprise to me that he's getting recognition for his sport of calypso and carnival. Because you don't only old talk, yeah? You don't only old talk about carnival and the art form and calypso and the culture. You really have to love it to get involved with it. You have to love the thing, yeah, to get involved with it. And they say you have to have more guts and a body to get involved with calypso and carnival, yeah? And because it's one of the art forms that could drive you to frustration and desperation and despair if you let it, and you don't understand the meaning of that word bacchanal. Once you understand bacchanal, and you agree to be in that, but you really love the thing. So right now, I will just pay a little tribute to the spirit and passion of Rita Cox, right? Because she gives you that spirit and passion. That's what we're celebrating in Carnival. Carnival Juve morning. Slim and tall boy decide they want to play Juve. Whole year they have to play Juve. No, but it's Carnival Monday morning they want to play Juve. They don't have no costume. So they decide to go by Tantibone house to see if they could get some kind of old bedding to play Juve. But Tantibone wasn't there. So he climbed to the lady window, starting to dig up his place, looking for old clothes to make old masks. See a parcel in the corner wrap up. Open it. Tantibone expensive drapes, she buy all dung in for display for she house. Them and tall boy take it out. Oh God, they love that. They decide to play African chief. And they wrap up in Tantibone drape and gone downtown. Slim wrap up his chief Lubumbo, and tall boy say his chief Mubumbo, and they gone downtown playing Juve. But it so happened that Tantibone had gone downtown to get a box to sell Tulum. So don't tell me what Tantibone selling Tulum for on a carnival Monday morning. But when Tantibone decided to do something, and the stock sheet. Now see that Tulum? It have a long story behind it. Tulum is a black kind of sugar cake. You don't know it, right? So Tantibone was going to make the box. So she tell Mavis to finish up the Tulum machine while she get the box. If you see what Mavis do to Tantibone Tulum. The Tulum come out, juk up, like when Wasa almost 6-year-old, that's what it look. When Tantibone come back and she see what Mavis do, she get vexed and say, Mavis tell her, nobody gonna marry you, or you can't cook, and you better learn to watch pot. And she take the Tulum and start to fix it up. Tantibone put all kind of things inside the Tulum. If you see the Tulum come out red and white. You ever see red and white, black Tulum? When you see that, you see Tantibone Tulum. Tantibone say, don't dig nothing the Tulum have one costume. And she take up the Tulum and she head downtown to sell it. Now, Tantibone set up she box right on the corner where all the bands have to pass. Sergeant Charles said, move it, please. She said she was there first and she wanted to know who name man move she Tulum. And she set it to Tulum. Well, boy, all I know is one thing. I see a big band coming down the road, but 3,000 jumping up. And Tanty was on the corner. All I know is 1 minute I see Tanty Ball, next minute I see she. And everybody, watch out for the Tulum! And who do you think chose that moment to pass? Slim and tall boy, playing cheap with Bumbo and cheap with Bumbo and Tanty Ball drifts. But when Tanty Ball spots she drifts, she let go short like a while in there and she take off her tall boy. When tall boy see she coming, boy, he was like in shock. The eye open big, he mouth open wrong so. He was singing and going down San Fernando. Reach time, he never had time make Fernando. Tanty Ball race for him. Tall boy take off like a jet down the road. People say that the fastest anybody ever take off from a standing position was what tall boy do that morning. They say even Crawford couldn't catch him. The last thing I see of them was Slim and tall boy running down the road and unwrapping drapes and Tanty Ball behind them picking up. And I read in the paper next day how 3 unidentified flying objects were seen heading for San Fernando. That's what we done. And on that note, let me say how happy I am to have had this opportunity to say a few words about my dear friend, Dr. Rita Cox. Rita, you know, most times we seldom get a chance to talk about the people we know and care about. Most times only when they are long gone and they're dead and they're gone. So, well done, Rita. I've had this opportunity to say how much I love you and how much I care for you. Well done. Congratulations and recognition. And thanks for being a part of my life. Quick, this chapter done. Amen. All the best.
Thank you, Paul. You know, my mother used to say, crick crack, and the monkey breaky back for a piece of pomerac. But you know, when you started speaking and you were talking about how you and Rita go way, way back, you know what I was thinking about? I was picturing you standing at the top of a hill and looking across a valley and calling out, Rita! And when Rita answered, wasn't Rita at all. She's so far back, was an echo.
All right, everyone.
Well, you know how we like old talk in the West Indies, especially in Trinidad. I mean, we could talk about absolutely nothing and keep the conversation going for half a day. Well, there is somebody else I know who could do just that. She is a distinguished storyteller and the author of several children's books. And she has what I consider a spectacular gift of the gab. If she is the MC at an event, I ain't going to the event. I'm going to hear her because she could just keep on going. She is the co-owner of an iconic bookstore, A Different Book List, and she's an expert on the history of Blacks in Toronto. Please welcome Aita Sadu.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. And thank you, OCPA. Thank you, Pat, and your team for inviting me to be part of this. And I must say congratulations to you, OCPA. I am privileged to have been part of your journey. Happy 40 years. I am 40. It's a great age to be. So I know that you're looking good and feeling good. 40 acres in a mule, so enough respect. And to Dr. Cox, I am particularly pleased that you are wearing yellow this evening because that is also representative of the light that you continue to shine in this world. And today when I told folks that I was going to an event with QRC, they asked me if I was going to an event with Royal College. And I say to them, no, I am going to an event with the Queen Rita Cox, QRC. And it is very difficult to come after Paul Keynes Douglas. And Rita, it is wonderful that you have lived long enough to know that in 1945, there was a radio drama called Dr. Paul. And now in the year 2021, one of your great friends in life and great storytellers, Paul Keynes Douglas, is now known as Dr. Paul. That is the breath of the life that you have lived, from a soap opera drama to someone being called Dr. Paul. And your advice has been fantastic. I remember the morning that you called me and you said, Aita, I know you are a womanist. I know you are a feminist. I know you are is, but you have to get rid of the furniture. And I got off the phone and I picked up the phone again and I made another call and I dumped my boyfriend because he was furniture. So I always thank you for that grounded advice. I thank you for reminding me that I am a traditionally built woman. And so anytime that I'm struggling with my bigness, in the words of your mother, decorated. And so today, me and you, as big traditionally built women, can decorate our bodies. And boy, we look beautiful and we pop. And I am also bringing greetings on behalf of all the taxi drivers in Canada and in the city of Toronto. The local taxi drivers, the brothers who see that you are an institution and you sit like a queen in the back seats of their cabs, to the ambassador taxis and all the people, Beck, whoever, the royal cab named after you, Rita Cox, all these taxi drivers who drive you from one event to another, at the same time recognizing the magnitude of who you are. And my mother reminded me that you are from the generation of women that buy the theater tickets and the event tickets. These are women that always sell tickets, and most of the time they just end up buying the same tickets for the people when they default. My mother reminded me of your philanthropic nature and your capacity to not only talk the talk, but to walk the talk. And finally, Rita, I am so thrilled to see that you have taken on the new technology, that you and Jean Augustine are queens of Zoom. As a matter of fact, you are queens of boom, because you engage every time in an event, in a workshop. And so throughout your life, from why mosquitoes buzz in people's ears, the first moment of technology that we know as a storyteller, till today, when you get on Zoom, that is an incredible achievement. Rita, may you continue, find favor with God, and may you live long, long, long. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for friendship, for the lots of fun. Every time that I'm with you, you're fun, for pepper sauce and for sweetbread. And thank you for being family. Enough respect, and keep on shining your light, because today you are radiating in your color of yellow, which is the color of light.
Yeah. I tell you, she could talk and she will have you listening. You wanted to keep talking more. Aita, thank you so much. Rita has inspired you because you're a storyteller too. And I love to hear you talk because you inspire me to go into a Bajan accent and thing, and try and emulate you a little bit. I'd love to be as good an MC as you. Thank you very much. Just joining us from wherever you are, this is OCPA's celebration of its 40th anniversary, the first event in its 40th year, and we're celebrating Dr. Rita Cox and paying tribute to her. The next person on our program is a Calypsonian, a Juno Award winner, and with the late Dick Lochan, the Juice Man, a co-founder of a program called Pass the Torch. This is a program that's intended to keep Calypso alive with our youth, especially those who are born and raised in and around Toronto and across Canada. He also operates My Lime Radio. It's an online radio station with programming on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 8. Please welcome Jason Perez, known to us affectionately as Jason.
Long time they train every black unit. Right now it's gunplay all on the streets. But we already decided they gon' take the lead and use blacks for target practice indeed. Tell me what the hell they want me to do. Like they go back to the 70s for true. While the government ignoring these problems. On election they want blacks to vote for them. Tell me what the hell they want me to do. Tell me what the hell they want me to do. Tell me what the hell they want me to do. Tell me what the hell they want me to do. Hi Rita, I love you. I'm here to start this meeting with who I want to call or who I have to call because Jean Augustine used half of what I had to say. And then Malcolm Fifi used the other half. So you come like Donald Trump. They stole my my intro to you. But Rita Cox, I have to tell you something. But the first time I met you was at a Calypso Association meeting where you had organized a place for the group to meet. You were always present at the tents and competitions. And because of that, it gave me the inspiration to write a song on you. And that was the song that Makuma Fifi did. And it was called A Tribute to Dr. Rita Cox. I remember when we did it at the Calypso 10, we caught you by surprise. You know? And because you.
Sorry, Jason, you just got muted for a sec.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yep.
You are one of the best known faces of the Toronto Calypso scene, and we refer to you as the mother of Calypso in Canada. I really appreciated your support at the first Pass the Torch Junior Calypso competition in 2019. Your presence meant that you saw Pass the Torch as the future of Calypso in Toronto. Rita, I congratulate you on this well-earned award. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best in the future.
Unmute. Thank you, Jason, for bringing greetings to Rita. We go back a long way, I know you do. And thank you for your work with Pass the Torch, keeping Calypso alive. And thanks to OCPA for 40 years, keeping Calypso alive across the Toronto area and across Canada, and keeping us in tune with our culture and our heritage. Now, it's not easy being on the board of OCPA. A lot of people might think it's just simple as not too much, but I've been on the board. I spent a couple of years on the board, and it's a lot of work. I was never the secretary, but being the secretary is a big job. And we've got Colleen Trotman, who is secretary of OCPA. Now, I know she's a panist, and I know she's a Barbadian, and I know she's a Calypsonian, but I don't know a whole lot more about her. But Brown Sugar Girl, it's your time to say a little something about Rita.
Thank you, Harold. Good evening, everybody. I was not around in the beginning, very young, and so I didn't have a chance to really get to know Dr. Rita Cox. But as the secretary of OCPA and planning this event, and the board of OCPA wanted to say that thank you to Dr. Rita Cox and to all those persons and organizations that were there for OCPA throughout the years. We want to say thank you for loving the art form so much that you give your time, your funds, your energy, your coaching, We want to say thank the Calypsonians for writing and producing and performing songs year after year, even though the return on the investment may not have been as great as they would like. We want to say thank you to the Calypsonians and to everyone for bringing and infusing their special kind of humor, stage presence, style, passion, messages, and stories to Calypso and soca here in Canada. And most importantly, we want to thank all the present and past OCPA members, the present and past OCPA boards, committees, the tent managers, the musicians, the backup singers, songwriters, music producers, MCs, and all the funders, especially FMC, for bringing the organization this far and sticking with the organization through the good times and the challenging times. We have a year full of activities, and we hope that we can count on you and all your support, especially at our 40th anniversary celebration on October the 23rd. We want to say thanks to Joan Poon, Michael Jadego, and Pan Nostalgia for hosting this event. And thanks to all the presenters and all of you in attendance for taking this time to celebrate not only OCPA, but Dr. Rita Cox. Thank you all for your contributions.
And thank you, Colleen, for the hard work you do for OCPA. And I must say, it was great to see you standing in front of the OCPA logo. Back in 1995, when I was still working, my graphics designer was a great artist. His name is Greg Elliott. And I asked him if he could come up with a logo for us for OCPA. And that's the logo there since 1995. So thanks to Greg Elliott, and thank you for showing off that beautiful OCPA logo. Now, you know, Calypso is a part of Carnival celebrations. And the name was changed from 1967. It was Caravana, and then it became the Toronto Caribbean Carnival and all that. But we've got somebody who's been associated with the Toronto Caribbean Carnival for many years, and now he's the CEO of FMC, the Festival Management Committee. Please welcome Chris Alexander to bring greetings to Dr. Rita Cox. Chris?
Thanks, Harold. And it's correction is not CEO, but COO, Chief Operating Officer.
Okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm humbled to be asked to say a few words this afternoon and to be part of this presentation for such an amazing woman, Dr. Rita Cox. And happy anniversary, 40th anniversary to OCPA. So Rita, I just want to talk a little bit about Rita here today, how I met her and a few things throughout the years. So I knew about Rita for many years as an important figure in our community, but I got to know her better when I joined the Festival Management Committee in December 2009. She was part of the board that selected myself and Denise Herrera-Jackson as the CEO of the festival at that time. Denise was the CEO and myself as the Chief Administrative Officer. Dr. Cox was a board member of the Festival Management Committee from the inception in 2006 until she retired from the board in 2019. So a bit about our relationship with Rita. Dr. Cox is not only a storyteller, a historian, and a strong supporter of Calypso, but she played a significant role in educating me about the history of Carnival here in Canada, Calypso, and about Carnival in general. So she strongly believed that the culture should be highlighted in every aspect of Carnival here in Canada. If you know her very well, you know that a conversation with Rita, Dr. Cox, is not a 5-minute conversation. So Dr. Cox was a member of OCPA board, one of the most innovative and productive stakeholder boards at that time. The group took the organization to a totally different level, involving the organization in a number of international endeavors. They also promoted the Junior Calypso and in the Junior Carnival in Malvern. I think she worked along with Jason and Dick, the late Dick Lochin at the time. The board included people like Colin Benjamin, Angela Pierre, Roger Gibbs, Tara Woods, Margot Harris, and of course, Dr. Rita Cox. Over the years, she always reached out to check up on me to see how I was doing and to make sure I was doing well. She also offered valuable, advice whenever possible. And I reached out to her many times. Anything I needed to know about the history of Carnival, she always provided me with tons of information. And she took pride in doing that. We had many discussions over the years, and I'm much more knowledgeable about the Carnival, I would say, because of her. Because Dr. Cox, you should know that she knows a lot. I remember once sitting in the park in Barrie after one of the Barrie parades and listening to her tell me about what Carnival used to be like, and that Barrie Carnival was exactly what it was in many years ago, back in the days in Trinidad. I also remember sitting with her in Niagara Falls after one of her presentations when she expressed her disappointment in Carnival and her dreams of the future of Carnival should be. I remember attending Carnival in Trinidad. I went here to her place one Tuesday, Carnival Tuesday, and we went to her home. We had lunch. She invited many friends to spend the time with her. And after that, we all made it our way back to the parade route where she had a favorite spot with the group. We sat there at the side of the road with the chairs and enjoying the bands passing by. And of course, she had a lot to say about the Carnival, to tell me about how it used to be back then. I remember once when I was considering leaving the festival and moving on, for somehow Dr. Rita Cox found out. And after the festival, we normally had a church service at the cathedral at King Street in Jarvis. And after the service, I was walking down the stairs, and Rita and the friends were waiting for me. She pulled me aside and told me in no uncertain terms that I was not leaving the festival. She told me that she spent too much time and her work here in the carnival to have this carnival get to where it is today. And there was no way I was going to leave right now. But guess what? I'm still here. That's Rita Cox for you. When she was about to resign from the festival, the board in 2019, and I remember we had a discussion. She called me to let me know how she felt about what she wished she could have accomplished over the years, and what we should accomplish in the years to come. And she talked about her regrets about the carnival, but she was optimistic about the future. So, Dr. Cox, Rita Cox means a great deal to the West Indian Caribbean community and to the Caribbean people here in Canada. Rita was, and I'm sure that she will always be, a staple in everything that the FMC has ever done and will do. You can always count on her for being present and representing. She was always there, either with a taxi or someone giving her a ride. She was always interested in what, it was very costly for her, but we knew she always paid out of her own pocket. Rita, we would like to thank you for being such a major figure in the Caribbean community. We thank you for being a significant part on the contribution of the Carnival. And I thank you for being a friend and a mentor to me. May your legacy live forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for your greetings. Like I just said, Rita is our royalty, QRC, Queen Rita Cox. Thank you. If you're just joining us, this is the 40th anniversary celebration of OCPA, the Organization of Calypso Performing Artists. We're celebrating Rita Cox today, one of our own. Our next presenter is a pan player, the leader of the steel band Pan Fantasy. She's a social worker with the Catholic School Board. Here is Wendy Jones.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm so humbled today. I'm all choked up just listening to the wonderful words that everyone is giving of Rita Cox, Dr. Cox. So I say good evening to all the invitees, and most of all, congratulations to OCPA for having this celebration today. I was very humbled when Pan Man Pat asked me to speak and also to do a presentation. The words of the Honorable Jean Augustine said so much. I was in tears at one point just listening to all the wonderful things she had to say, because I think most of us have experienced some of those walks that Jean is talking about with Dr. Cox. I met her the first time in Caravana And I thought to myself when I looked at her, I said, this lady looks like my mom. And I was just mesmerized. And you know, from there on, I thought to myself, she has to be part of my family somewhere along the lines. Well, it just so happened, I started working in the Parkdale area. And that was my introduction to actually get to know Dr. Rita Cox. I became friendly with quite a few of them. And that was when the books were installed into the library and I had the opportunity of coming and help as I was working at Holy Family, an area that Dr. Cox held very dear to her heart, the Parkdale Library. After that, we became friends. And I have to say today, you need to give her her flowers. She has toiled and she has also put so many people ahead of herself. Today, I wear yellow with you, as Aita has said, to celebrate because I know she loves yellow. So I'm wearing my yellow with you and I want to make sure I represent her. I appreciate the long conversations that we've had together. And Rita does have long conversations with you because when you come up before, if you didn't learn something, well, I think you would need a beating at that point. She has spoken inspiring words into me, especially dealing with bands and dealing with Steel Pan and moving bands ahead. Pan Fantasy Steel Band, we would sit and talk about the band and where I see the band going. And she would say, you know, if you do this and you do that, this could happen. And you know, if you apply for this grant and that grant, you know, this could happen. But guess what? Rita became a mom that we could call on and get valuable advice from. And I want to say that I thank you for the wealth of knowledge that you have and that you have instilled in most of us. I appreciate all that you have done in this community. I look at the Calypsonians, but you know what? Your interest wasn't just them. It was everyone. Everything about the carnival interests you. And you shared that with us so passionately. Every time we see you, we want to love you up, hug you up, and just kiss you. Because I always say, you remind me of my mom. And today I say thank you as I echo the words of everyone. You are royal. You really are. I have to breathe. The song that I want to do for you today is a song that I think explains. A lot of people talk about the song, and it's a song by Josh Gorburn, and it says, "You've raised me up to more than I can be." And you know, usually people ask you to do that song, and it fits. But today it really fits you. You've raised up a whole community, and we stand on your shoulders. So today I say you've raised me up and you've raised everyone up to more than we can be. Thank you very much. I love you. I appreciate you. And may God continue to bless you. May his light continue to shine on you. May he give you strength day by day, moment by moment. Everything that you have touched, may he continue to pour into you richly. Overflow, overflow, overflow. I thank you that God has placed you in a place where we can now look back and say, thank you for all you have done. And I appreciate those taxis because I think I had to ride with you a couple of times. So, you know, we're good to go on that, as Aita would say. But I'm just inspired by all you have done. And I want to be like you one day in the next 40 years. So I'm going to play a song, and I'm not singing the song, but I am signing the song. If you can hear, just give me your fingers up, please. Thank you.
Down again.
troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence till you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Thank you, Wendy. A beautiful performance and a moving tribute to Dr. Rita Cox. Yes, she's motherly to all of us. She leads by example, shows us what we could be, and she shows us what we should be, mentoring those who are coming after us. Now, sometimes you meet a person in an official capacity and you don't really know exactly what the person is outside of the official capacity. And this next presenter is somebody like that. When I first met him, I didn't know he was a funny guy and he liked calypso and he liked old talk and he's a funny man. And he was once the consul general to Toronto for Trinidad and Tobago. He's now retired, but he's keeping active in the community and all things Caribbean. He's currently a board member of FMC and the different book list. I think he's still wearing his beard and all that, but he like old talk and he like calypso. Mr. Michael Ashley, Dr. Michael Ashley.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, Hurricane Harold, President, Directors, Executives, and members of OCPA, distinguished guests in Canada, in the Caribbean, and worldwide, members of the media, Calypso aficionados all. Empowerment. The word is empowerment. This one word embodies the foundational, proactive, and catalytic role of Dr. Rita Cox, the undisputed dean of the Caribbean cultural community in Canada. Eh, mama, kumawiye, muela, tudus. With apologies for the spelling of the French Creole words, that is the respectful greeting and the humble response in a two-generation encounter. It can be loosely translated as, "Asio ma, how you doing? Ade, taking it easy." That calm and unassuming posture of goodwill to all is the external picture of a powerhouse of a personage. She is the potent combination of advocate, activist, organizer, manager, promoter, and financial supporter of Caribbean culture in these northern climes to which we have migrated. No Caribbean person should be surprised by that phenomenon. For centuries, the woman has been the foundation of Caribbean society, the chief cook and bottle washer, and often the sole parent in so many families. As a not so recently arrived member of our diaspora, I have personally witnessed the decades of support for OCPA and the Calypso community in collaboration with similarly minded elders such as Colin Benjamin and Angela Peer. Though I have never seen Tanti Rita singing calypso on a stage, I am fully aware of the African traditions in which the calypsonian is the village griot, the storyteller, and the intergenerational keeper and transmitter of the history, culture, and values of the community. But I have seen our darling Tanti grace the stage as a dynamic, naturally gifted storyteller. She's especially well known for holding children spellbound. And this she has done for 3 generations of children in all the nooks and crannies of Canada, including in isolated communities in the far north. Indeed, Tanti Rita is the architect and the civil engineer primarily responsible for the intergenerational building of our storytelling culture, alongside such multi-talented raconteurs as the indomitable Aita Sadu and the versatile and charismatic Jenny Laguerre. By the way, Bra and Nancy himself, the mischievous and dubiously heroic star of Caribbean and West African folklore, also calls her the English language equivalent of that respectful moniker, Auntie Rita, with the Y instead of the IE at the ending of the word auntie. C'est vrai, moi qu'a dit, et plus salé. Aided and abetted by our seasoned cultural manager, Denise Herrera Jackson, and by Calypsonian guitarist extraordinaire and cultural researcher Roger Gibbs, among so many others, Tanti Rita has also given long years of service to our carnival community here through her board membership in the Festival Management Committee, FMC. Board Chair Joe Halstead can attest to the fact that she was the initiator of the FMC's annual awards that honor our pioneers, stalwarts, and volunteers in the carnival arts. The special attention was also focused on our children's carnival. If you want to see Rita Vex, try to stop the children's carnival, I dare you. You want the woman and the bass? This is the chorus and the war cry from the ultra famous Calypso by the super popular singer-composer known as Crunter. The song pays tribute to an iconic female player of the bass steel pan in the Desperado Steel Band. But the steel pan rendition of that tune that is venerated by steel pan music lovers worldwide is the one rendered by the All-Star Steel Band. In matters of steel pan music, I have a strong suspicion that Tanti Rita's favorite steel band in Canada is Pan Fantasy, led by the omnipresent and omnipotent Wendy Jones, and sustained through 8, 10, or 25 panelized victories by the maestro arranger Al Alois Foster. And while I'm letting out suspicions and rumors, it is also possible that Tanti Rita has a soft spot for the talent of Makume Fifi, who has won the local monarch title 8, 10, or 25 times. All of that to say that our woman on the bass for all of our Caribbean performing arts is the mighty Rita. Full stop and amen. No ifs, buts, or maybes. But wait, I forget to mention that Tanti Rita have plenty culinary skills. So here is the official citation. Citation, Dr. the Honorable Rita Cox, in recognition of your personal mastery of the Caribbean culinary arts, the awards panel of the University of Life at its virtual Caribbean headquarters has the distinct pleasure to confer on you the following academic certification. 1, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Macaroni Pie. 2, Master of Fine Arts in Caribbean Christmas Cake. 3, Doctor of Philosophy in Callaloo TNT Style. 4, Professor Emerita in the Faculty of Cultural Culinary Arts of the University of Life. Full disclosure, my daughters wrote a letter of commendation for the 3rd degree, the PhD in Callaloo TNT Style. And now for the 2nd citation. Citation, Dr. the Honorable Rita Cox, in recognition and gratitude for your massive contribution to the carnival arts, to Caribbean storytelling traditions, as well as to community and youth development in the Caribbean diaspora in Canada. On the express recommendation of the Organization of Calypso Performing Artists, and with the unanimous approval of the awards panel of the Office of the President of the People's Republic of Belmont, His Excellency Dr. Lennox Burrell, President of the People's Republic of Belmont, takes pride in conferring on you our highest national award, the Order of the People's Republic of Belmont. End of citations. Crick, crack, monkey breaky back, for a piece of Pamarac, colorín colorado. Este cuento se ha terminado y quien se queda sentado se queda pegado. Santi Manite. And further I say not.
I tell you, he could talk.
Well done, well done. Well done.
When you first meet him, you don't realize what is going on inside his mind and how much old talk he could bring to you. But he's full of it. I hear a song in that, Michael. You could write a calypso with that. And you know, it was a beautiful tribute to Dr. Cox. We always say it takes a village to raise a child, but if you think of our community as a village, Dr. Rita Cox has raised us up. Thank you, Rita. And now we're going to move on to the president of OCPA, Panman Pat, Mr. Pat McNeely. And Pat has something on the pan for you. Pat?
Hey, Harold. We okay? Hey, Harold?
I'm fine.
Great. Well, I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to say with listening to everyone speak so highly and so lovingly about Dr. Cox, I'd like to say I feel like a general. Right now, I'm going to have to release so many tanks. Thanks and thanks and thanks to all the people who took part. I'd like to thank Pan Nostalgia for the excellent job they've done with rehearsals and getting prepared for this. I'd like to thank all the people who took part today in this presentation. Because of the lateness of the hour, I'm going to play at the end of this little presentation. I'd like to thank my board at OCPA for continuing to preserve and 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 keep calypso and soca music at the forefront. We've done it for 40 years, and everybody said so many nice things. Here's a story I'd like to tell about Dr. Cox. Selwyn Woods, and we're going to be celebrating him a month, exactly a month from today, 21st of March. Selwyn Woods started a competition at Cutty's Hideaway. And then he did another one at Masonic Temple, and I think Jai was the MC, and Webb took part, and Beginner won, and so on. And out of that, he saw the possibility of this competition thing is growing, it's getting too big. And out of that grew the Calypso Association of Canada. And out of that, we had a meeting, but we didn't know where to go to have a meeting. So I went to the Parkdale Library because I used to work for this lawyer, Charles Roach. And I heard about the Parkdale Library, and I heard there was a Trinidad librarian there, Rita Cox. I never met her. So I went there and I said, the Calypsonians want to have a meeting. And where can we have this meeting? Can we rent a room? And she said, it's $12. So that was nothing for me at the time. So I paid it $12. Back then, yeah, I didn't know you had to fill out forms and stuff. You know, I had to fill out form when we come in and so on. I tell the guys, meeting at 6 o'clock. I didn't know the library closing 8 o'clock. But, you know, I just figured, you know, Friday evening after work and so on. So I paid it, and we had the first meeting, and this woman sat at the back of the room. And she looked at us, and it was going past 8 o'clock, and she said, gentlemen, you've got, you know, it's past the time, you know. And I said, well, guys, can we adjourn and meet here next Friday again, 6 o'clock? So next Friday we got there, and I got early, and I went to pay the $12, and she said, boy, keep your money. She said, boy, keep your money. And since that, this is the Rita Cox we're talking about. So there's so much I want to say, but people have been here for so long. And Rita, during this presentation, I cried about 3 or 4 times. We love you so much. Your turn. Your turn, Rita. I ain't playing no pan. I run the track until you come on.
Are you on mute?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Rita, it's your turn to respond now.
Oh, this is my turn?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I am totally speechless. I did not expect all these surprises. I want to say how much I appreciate this whole event and say thanks to everybody who has participated. Thanks to OCPA for bringing up this ceremony. And I want to say thanks to everybody with whom I have participated for the past 40 years, because it is almost fitting that the first meetings, that the genesis of this organization started in the place where I had so much fun, where I had the opportunity of doing the best I have ever done in my professional life. I remember OCPA coming for meetings, and I remember the very passionate board meetings that used to happen in the room, the library room. And I have to share a little joke with you. One of those passionate board meetings was so loud that my custodian came and he said, "Miss Cox, something bad is happening. I think you have to call the police." Because here were these board members yelling and screaming at each other. So I got up and went downstairs, and I stood at the door, and the exchange was going on. They didn't notice me for a minute or two. And then I said to them, "I just came down to ask a question. Should I call the fire department or the police?" And everybody looked at me at a loss. And then they realized what was happening. We're very passionate people, and we do that all the time. And I've had that experience over and over again in meetings and things in this community. But I am so grateful for all of you with whom I have been on this journey in the community. You've talked about several different aspects of the community in which I have participated, and it's not been alone. That kind of love, attention, interest, and support that are expressed today, I can say I have been blessed with it throughout all the events, the journeys that I have been through. So I want to say thank you for this tribute. Thank you for lifelong support. I have met so many people that I love and attend. This is a wonderful community, even though it drives me crazy sometimes. I want to think of all the people. I would like to call names, but then I'll never stop tonight. But the people who have been so very, very important in the development of this art form. Of course, the grandfather, Jason, the people who have come through, the fine artists, the calypsonians, including the grandfather, who have given to our art form such stature. People like structure, people like Panman Pat, people that I could call names and go on forever. The people who have contributed so greatly to this art form. Of course, not to forget our queen, Akome Fifi. And thank you, Jason, for that tribute that you wrote that remains forever in my mind. It has been a wonderful, wonderful celebration. And some of the things that you talked about, I couldn't even remember. But I think of what a family I've had. And you brought tears to my eyes because I did not expect to hear from Paul Keynes Douglas in Trinidad. That was a real keeper. Thank you so much. What can I say? The love that you have shown for me, I return to all of you. The interest you have shown in the work I have done, I pass on to you. I thank you, Jason, and also Connector, for continuing to pass the torch and to support the young people with your continually interest and mentoring of them so that our art form can continue. I thank so many of the people because we have forgotten. I want to say special to two people. One who has kept us well fed And she's had the interest in our lives. One of the things is Glenda Bostic. Glenda Bostic has been such a support, such a strong, strong supporter. And not to mention the daughter that I have adopted, and Natasha, who at a very young age was an excellent chairperson of this organization. She was very young, but she did a fantastic job. And as we came along, we had people who contributed so greatly to this organization in the more recent years. I'm thinking of Colin Benjamin, Angela Pierre, people like that who were able to seek sponsors to produce beautiful newsletters that you got every month, and to contribute to that aspect of things. We were able to send our monarchs to England, to Georgia, to be recognized in the Trinidad, the seat of it, as important enough to want to be part of us. Everybody contributed to this. I want to say that I am honored to be a part of this journey. 40 years is a long time, but I wish that we could continue now to rebuild, restructure, and continue to develop and grow this art form. It's going to be different. COVID made a difference. And to have I never thought I'd say that I would be interested in Zoom, but COVID made it possible for us to meet each other in a different way and have provided new opportunities, new ways of communicating with each other. And today has been a wonderful example of how this could happen. My love goes out to all of you. My gratitude to all of you. And to OCPA, for this is something I will never forget. Thank you all. Paul, I was so glad to hear from you, and you were right. I miss being on the sidewalk liming for Carnival, but somehow we've made up for it. You have made up for this. Thank you all. And to my daughter, I have another daughter I've adopted, and is Ita, and I don't know what I would do without her. Thank you very much. All of you have been wonderful. I don't know, I think I'll sleep tonight because the tears are welling up, the joy is welling up, and the gratitude is to all of you is just so full. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and my love goes out to all of you. Wendy, thank you. Oh my goodness, I can't call all the names, but you know that you are loved, respected, and very, very much appreciated. Thank you. Harold, it's good to have you again.
Thank you, Rita. Great to see all of you. Congratulations, Rita. I know you had a birthday a couple of days ago, and I hope that this tribute to you will be the best birthday party you've ever had. And hopefully there are many more birthdays for you to celebrate. I want to say thanks to all those who presented, and thanks to Michael Jagdale and his technical crew for pulling this off. We've gone a little longer than we wanted to, but it worked out the way we wanted it to. Now, Dr. Paul, look at that. You in Trinidad, and Dr. Rita Cox way up here, and you could talk to her like if you're right in front of her face. See what technology has done for us? Thanks to COVID-19 for that. Thanks to all of you who have tuned in. We've had a wonderful evening. Let's hope we can do this again in another month or so. And let's hope OCPA continues to celebrate those who are important to us. Thank you, everyone. My name's Harold Hussein. Great to be with you. Good night.
Thank you. Great job.